Okay, everybody, put your hands together for God. God is in the house. God is always in the house. Come on, put your hands together. Show your love. Come on, that's right. Do it, yeah. For God, everybody. Give it up. Give it all. Right. All right. When God created the human being, he created it with both hands. Paradise beings were amazed. Through the human being I will to experience all the things and circumstances I have created. It is perfect and will return to me as perfect perfection, and all of you will help, said God. And they cheered and gave praise to him. God created a working playground for the human being to evolve in. It was to start as a man and to work its way back up to being a human being again. When it was all ready, God told the man that he would forget the unity of consciousness in which he was created. He would think and feel of himself as being separate from all other things, and that he must overcome that illusion in order to become whole again. When he could know God in and as all things, as one thing, and live the life of God, doing what God does and being as God is, he would be able to return to God as perfection made perfect. I created you out of what I am, and so you are what I am, but you must return to me, overflowing with experience, so that you may know perfection and imperfection and choose perfection of your own free will. You cannot return to me imperfect, but through you I will experience imperfection and the meaning and the value of it in the evolving into perfection that you experience in your return to me. Do you understand? I do, replied the man. Your will is done in all things. It is so, God said, smiling. God hugged the man with both arms and whispered in his ear, there will be love and fear, light and shadow. Love all and fear nothing. When God placed the man into the shell of his body, the man stood before the light of God and cast a shadow, and that shadow was aware of itself as a shadow and did what the man did, and all was well. The man never really paid any attention to his shadow. It was just an effect of standing in God's light. But as the man evolved in thought, so did the shadow. At first it wasn't a problem. The shadow was happy the man was there, for without the man to cast the shadow would not be. So the shadow did its best to do what the man did and hoped that one day it could be as the man was and have a life of its own. The shadow did not see or hear God. It knew that there was a great light, but thought that it existed just so the man could cast a shadow. It thought that it was all for the sake of the shadow. How great am I, it told itself. The man exists simply for my sake. The man should be doing what I do. I shouldn't have to do whatever the man is doing. And it started to feel trapped and abused at being a slave to the man's will and not being able to do its own thing. One day the shadow heard the man talking. So, as I ascend into a human being, my body will become a body of light and I will no longer cast a shadow? Then I will live forever and be and do just like you? Oh, how cool is that? But the shadow freaked out. What? Oh, hell no. What happened to me? Will I just fade away into nothing? What's the point of living? Just to have it all snatched away into nothingness? Who is he talking to anyway? Must be that light. He must be insane. But what do I do? What if there were no light? Then maybe I wouldn't need the man. Maybe everything would be shadow and I'd be free. Maybe. But what can I do? He moves, I move. I hate that. I have to be able to move on my own. Yeah, I can take over the man. I can make sure he never does that ascending thing. Yeah, I just have to be able to move and act on my own will. And so it began. The man spent his time looking for God and keeping his eye on God, but eventually learned that God was within him as well as all around him. When the man found his heart and learned to dwell in it, he came to infinitely love God and himself in God, and the seed of knowledge began to sprout, and the tree of infinite knowledge began to grow within his mind. But the shadow was busy with its own mind and was studying the man as the man grew in the light of consciousness, and the shadow found itself fading more and more and grew desperate and formed a plan. Finally, God declared to all that the man was on the verge of becoming a whole man or human, and that his light would increase. Just before it happened, the shadow made its move. It had, through great will, dedication, and practice, learned to move of its own accord, and now seized the opportunity to reach its left hand up the man's rear end, tearing a hole in the man. The man screamed in pain. "Ow! Oh, what the fuck is that?" cried the man. "Look behind you," said God. The man turned his head and realized that his shadow had attacked him. The shadow reached up into the man and grabbed his heart, covering the seed of love in shadow. And the man knew fear, and the seed within his heart began to dim and caused the tree to also grow downward. The man started to become more dense and cast a darker shadow. "Your ass is mine," yelled the shadow as he thrust his right hand in through the man and created a horn between the man's legs. He caused the horn to speak to the man, and as the fingers of the shadow began to reach into the man's mind, he could no longer see the light, and he looked down at the horn in fascination. "Forget the shadow, it is nothing. Pay attention to me. I will lead the way. We can do as we will. We can do it all, and we'll always be together, and I'll always be here to lead you to more and more fun, forever and ever. You want to have fun, right? Stay with me." But the man turned his attention to the horn and became its slave and did what the horn said and stopped hearing God's voice within him and all around him. So God told his unicorn to go into the man and use his horn to uphold the upright tree so that the man may not lose his mind, and to protect the seed in his heart so that the man may not lose all love. And the unicorn said, "Yea, Lord," and entered into the man and used his horn to prop up the upright tree and sat at the base of the tree where it grew up and grew down, and grasped the seed in the man's heart with his tail so that the shadow could not crush the seed. And the shadow hated the unicorn and argued with it to let it have its way with the man. "The man belongs to God, not to you," the unicorn told the shadow. "Your day will come, but not until you submit to letting God have its way with both you and the man." The shadow was enraged and pierced the unicorn's heart, and its blood dripped into the man's heart, filling it up and surrounding the seed with the power of its light so that the shadow had to let go of the man's heart. And the lower tree of knowledge began to diminish, and the higher tree within the man's mind once again flourished. God then healed the unicorn, and light grew within the man's mind, and the hand of the shadow in the man's mind faded away. The man opened his eyes and looked down at the horn between his legs in revulsion, and nothing the shadow could say would make the man listen to him again. The man grabbed his upper head with both hands and screamed to God, my Father, what have I done?" And God said, "It's your own fault for not paying attention to your shadow and letting them have your ass in the first place, but your heart and mind are now free. Ascend." And the man was determined to ascend to the state of being he was meant to be, and he renewed his struggle with the shadow. "What do I do?" he asked the unicorn. "Think," replied the unicorn. "You've been using your brain to think. You became so dense in material that you almost lost your mind to the shadow mind. God thinks with its mind and heart as one. That is, its consciousness. You must do and be the same. You must reach out to God as God made you, with both hands." In that moment, the man dedicated himself to wholly becoming ascended to light. He began to change. It started at the crown of his head and slowly began to work its way down. It was becoming lighter and brighter, clearer and overflowing with light. His heart and mind were being released from the material shell, and the shell was fading away. The shadow roared and threw its whole self into the man's lower body, filling him up from the feet to the waist. The man found it harder and harder to maintain the transformation as it wound its way down to his waist. The man willed with all his might, but couldn't reach his ass to save it. "God help me," he screamed. "Give me both your hands and I will pull you out," said God. "But what about my ass?" cried the man. "I'm very attached to my ass. I like it. It's a part of me, and I want to save it and take it with me. Help me save my ass." "Your ass," said God, "is just a part of your shell, and that belongs to the shadow. Your mind is free. Your heart is free. If your ass can't follow, leave your ass behind and ascend. Take my hands and I will help you to save yourself, but you will have to leave your ass behind." "No," screamed the man desperately. "It's my ass and he can't have it any longer." "Fine," laughed God. save your ass by yourself if you can. I'm right here if you need me, but I told you what you had to do. So go ahead with yourself and save your own ass if you can. We'll just wait and see how that works out for you. And the man in the shadow fought like hell, and shit was flying everywhere because the man's ass was getting tore up something awful. And then they both slipped and fell, and they laid there thinking to themselves, I'm lying in shit. Get out of my ass, said the man to the shadows. Your ass is mine, yelled the shadow. If you turn the light, I'll fade away to nothing, and that will be the end of me. Your ass is my only hope of staying alive. Who the hell told you that? Asked the man. I heard you talking to the light. What about me? You never gave a shit about me. You never cared that I was there until I got all up in your ass. Well, you got plenty of shit to give now, boy. Your ass is mine, and I'm keeping it. Get out of my ass, and I promise you'll live. And that's when the shadow went stark raving mad berserk. I've had enough of this crap, he screamed. I own your ass, and you're going to do exactly what I want, whether you like it or not. With that, the shadow caused the man to rise up out of the shit they were both in. The man found himself turning against his will towards a nearby cliff. You wouldn't, said the man to the shadow. I live by my own will, not yours, and certainly not that crazy delusion you're always talking to. The shadow began running towards the cliff with all intentions of leaping off of it. The man fought as best he could, but to no avail. He couldn't stop his own ass from plunging him headlong into certain doom. The cliff's edge loomed before him, and it was all he could do not to close his eyes while he experienced the both of them leaping up and over, and he knew that there was only one hope, one thing that could save him now. The man screamed with all his mind and strength and heart and soul and spirit and will and intent, with both arms and hands held high in the air. Oh, God, save me, please, I beg you. I don't need my ass to live, and I want to live. And that's what I was waiting for, said God, and God grabbed the man's two hands with one hand and grabbed his ass with the other. God pulled the man out of his ass, and the man found himself to be a whole man, a human being in God's hand. He was light incarnate and cried for joy and gratitude while he praised God and thanked God profusely. The shadow found himself still in the man's ass, with the upper part of his body taking the place of where the man's upper body used to be. The shell frame of the man's mind and the man's heart, with the seed intact, still held by the unicorn, was now within him, along with both trees, and the heart beat. And the pulse of that beat sent a wave of light to his new mind, and the shadow saw God and found that he was in God's hand. And God spoke, well, and the shadow heard God. And the shadow fell on his knees and cried, I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared, please forgive me. I'll do anything you say, just please let me live. And God told the shadow, that was the plan all along, dummy. Huh? Well, how? Explain that again. I am your creator and father too, you know. Now maybe this dummy didn't care that you were there, but I did. You never once asked about the light and what it was. You just took it for granted that all and everything, including the man, is here for you and your benefit. Well, yes and no, but you were also here for the man's benefit, and I am here for the benefit of all, and you have benefited what I am with your experience, so thanks for that. And now, it's your turn to live and cast a shadow of your own, and teach it to take its turn when you no longer cast a shadow. Got that? I do now, said the shadow man humbly. Thank you for still caring about me and loving me enough to still let me do this after everything I've done. You must really hate me. We don't hate. We are all each other after all, and before all, and in all, and it's all in one, and one in all, and all that. You did what you had to do and were designed to do just like he did, and now you have your own shadow to consider. Whatever will you do with him? Be fearful and paranoid, thinking it's going to be just like you and tear you a new asshole, or are you going to nurture it and pay attention to it and teach it what it can't learn without you? God put the shadow man down on the precipice and let the human being float between them. The shadow man took his first deep breath and felt another presence inside of him. It was the unicorn guarding the seed to his new heart. Will the unicorn be staying with me? I will be with you until you ascend, and then I shall leave a remnant of what I am within you, that you may pass it on to your shadow, says the unicorn. Our Father God is always with and within you, so no worries there, and I'm sure the human being will be more than happy to help when asked or needed. Indeed, said the human being, smiling. Then I shall learn the way of God, that I may teach it to my shadow, so that it will know what I know and be able to do and be what I do and what I am, and so that it shall not fear as I have, said the shadow, smiling. And God said, well, fear tests love, that love may grow strong. It challenges the mind, that it may evolve. As you had your place as shadow, so now shall it fall to your shadow to test you as well. Perhaps it doesn't have to be so painful, sighed the shadow man. Wait and see, said God, smiling. And what is the moral to this story? Okay, folks, listen up. Because we're all in this together, and you can't wear the high crown unless God puts it on you. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass don't follow, leave your ass behind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass won't follow, leave your ass behind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass can't follow, leave your ass behind. Hey, we don't hate, we participate and educate to liberate your mind. And you'll find it's not too late to show up for the line at Heaven's Gate. Make all haste, you don't want to be late, cause when that gate closes, oh well, you'll take that class again, oh hell. You got that mo for what it's worth. You ain't man on earth, you human beings are human beings, God on earth. You hear that, game player? So get your ass in gear, it could come this year. And you can't say you weren't told, this shit's gotten old. Just take the time to free your mind, and you'll find all the rest will follow. Now holler. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass don't follow, leave your ass behind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass won't follow, leave your ass behind. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass can't follow, leave your ass behind. Hey, and if you think God ain't thinking about you, if you don't have to think about God, think again. Free your mind and your ass will follow. If your ass can't follow, leave your ass behind. Hey, and if you think God ain't thinking about you, if you don't have to think about God, think again.